It's another beautiful Friday night under the lights as we get prepared for our final home game of the season at Frank Lough Stadium. The Edgewater Eagles taking on the Ocoee Knights in a beautiful contest. It could not have been better than this. We've had to deal with rain. We've had to deal with storms. We've had to deal with lightning. We'd have to deal with thunder. But nothing tonight. It's a beautiful night under the lights as we get set. Jesse O, Alvin Delvey, and Alvin, so good to be back here with you. Happy last home game of the season for the Edgewater Eagles. Happy senior night to all the Eagles fans out there. And for the Ocoee Knights coming in, it's a good opportunity to create some upset in the Metro Division here in Orlando, Florida, because Ocoee comes in at 3-4 on the season. And Edgewater, I'm not going to say what their record is right now because, I can't have that brought back to me as a broadcaster's jinx. But I will say they're on a run right now currently and have not lost a game in a bit.
Yeah, I think for Ocoee, their biggest thing is obviously trying to shock the world here. You have a 3-4 record, and we all know Edgewater's been the top dog. They've been the top dog for a very, very long time. So Coach Cam Duke got these guys ready to go. I'm excited to see if Ocoee's going to do something special, or if they're going to do exactly what the odds makers would say if this was a game that we'd see in Vegas.
So for the Edgewater Eagles now, they've been on a run, like I was saying, and they're led by a plethora of seniors, too. We want to take a chance to mention Josh Alexander Felton, who is, of course, going to NC State, having an incredible season so far. Zion Mitchell, who is a wide receiver on the left side of the line, who we'll see in a little bit. A.J. Howard, another one of the receivers on the right. These guys have combined, as well as Caden Shields-Dutton, for most of the touchdowns so far in this high-scoring Edgewater offense. What do you think we see from them tonight on their senior night?
I think we see a lot of explosive plays just because the level of emotion that you have, knowing that this is the last time you're going to play in the regular season, obviously, in your home field with your home fans, and you have everyone here, your auntie, your grandma, everyone who can make it has made it. So you had to walk. You're really reflective in this moment. And I know Coach Cam Duke is telling his guys, listen, this is a moment. Take advantage of it. And I know they're going to have some fireworks on this field today.
And now for our keys to the game presented by Alvin Delvey. What you got, Alvin?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing, like you mentioned, is going to be this Edgewater Eagles defense. This night offense early in the season, they got shut out. They lost their first game 2-0. Yes, it's not soccer. This is legitimately 2-0. So what we've seen here from this Ocoee offense is that they can be really low, but they can also score 35 points as well. So how will Edgewater Eagle defense handle the volatility of this Ocoee Knights offense? And most importantly, for offense of the Edgewater Eagles, how can they handle it? We've seen a couple of times, there's been a few interceptions here and there, and they've been able to bounce back. This Ocoee Knight defense has come up with a couple of picks here and there. So will the Edgewater offense be able to sustain drives and have the explosive plays that we're used to seeing them have? Or will we see the Ocoee Knight defense take over?
So the Knights will be back to receive on the kickoff. Edgewater wins the toss and defers. And so they will be the ones to kick off to the Ocoee Knights. Back to receive Joshua Gurrier. And Gurrier had one heck of a game. We'll tell you about that.
The Eagles are kicking off. John Beck, too.
Ace-tron Ely is back to receive with him as well. So Ely will be on the near side hash inside the 10-yard line. On the far side, Joshua Gurrier and John 2 out to kick this one away for the Edgewater Eagles. He stands back at the 30 and will kick it away from the 40, going left to right as we're seeing it up here in the press box. The final home game of the season for the Edgewater Eagles. Bang! Here we go. And this one will go back into the end zone for a touchback. It was caught by Joshua Gurrier, but he will bring it up. And now this one will be an offsides against the Edgewater Eagles. So it's going to come back and better field position now on the second kickoff attempt from the Eagles.
I'd be remiss to neglect telling the viewers out there the initial flag to start off. That's just going to tell you the emotion that's in this game. We have not seen offsides penalty this season for Edgewater on the kickoff, especially the initial one. that goes to show, like we've talked about in that homecoming game, the level of distraction. It's not a distraction in a negative sense, just the fact that you're distracted from what you need to do, what your job on the field is. And I think that's going to be a big key to this game. Can you handle your emotions, and can you deal with the level of intensity that this crowd would bring?
Ryan Ely
back in front of your family, maybe for the first time, could possibly bring. Let's see if they can handle that and execute their kickoff properly.
So John 2 now kicking from the 35 instead of the 40. Back again, Gurrier and Ely. Gurrier on the far side, Ely on the near side. John 2, bang, let's try this one again. This one will come up short from the end zone. Here's Gurrier, and now Ely will take it from the 15, now going towards the outside on the far side. Far side run goes up to the 25-yard line before he is tackled right there on the spot. So almost like a touchback, but now the Edgewater Eagles defense will run out onto the field, and we're going to see who comes out as the quarterback for the Ocoee Knights. We've seen Keller, Jackson, and Gurrier actually played last game from the side of the quarterback, so it'll be interesting to see who runs out with this offense.
Yeah, they have a myriad of offensive weapons that they can throw out there, and that's going to be something interesting for this Edgewater defense. They've been stout. They've done a phenomenal job last week, obviously holding the team to 7 points. Let's see how this initial drive goes for them.
So the quarterback will be Ely this time, as they will go on a run towards the right side. That run was by Raymond Green up to the 27-yard line, 2nd down and 7 to go.
Good play for Edgewater's defense. Your linebackers are scraping. That's exactly what you want to do.
Solomon,
exactly what you want to
Josh
see.
Alexander.
You have Josh Alexander doing such a good job. Just get his hands on, get his hands off. But most importantly, when your linebackers are flowing, it makes it a lot easier for your defense to stop the run.
So Ely will be the quarterback, and he'll take the snap now from the 24-yard line, and on the reverse, they will give it off to their main man, Marvin Brown, who goes towards the left side, now breaks the tackle past the 30, and he will be pushed out of bounds just on that spot. 31-yard line is what he made it up to. That's a gain of about 2 on the play. 3rd down and still a few to go.
That's a phenomenal job there of making a stout, short tackler in Damon Troutman. Missed that tackle in the backfield, and he gets upfield, and obviously Tripline gets the tackle there. Very good rush. You put your offense in a good situation right now. If you're a Knight fan, you're 3rd and short to start the drive. This is going to be the tail of the tape. How can you execute on 3rd downs from all levels, NFL, college, high school? How do you handle 3rd down situations? You have an opportunity if you're the Knights.
So now in the backfield is Marvin Brown, as Ely will take the snap from the 27 as they go hard count there. Taking their time, they're going to stack it up on the left side, 1-by-3 formation with the receivers. A flag comes in from the secondary, and that looks like a delay of game.
Delay a game on Ocoee. He's going to back him up. That'll make it 3rd and 8.
Here, you got a tight bunch at the top to
From
the
the
field side.
27
When
yard
you see
line.
a bunch formation, you don't necessarily have to, but you usually see it into the boundary, trying to trick the guys up. So not liking what they saw from the defense, and now you're at 3rd and long. So all that hard work you've done for the first 2 plays have now been null and void. So let's see if they can come out. Obviously, they have their play call. They're going to get something out. Let's see if this is going to be the 8-yard play that they need.
3 receivers over to the right side of the line, 1 over to the left as Ely takes the snap from the 26. Now will roll right from the left hash as he maces up, and he goes up to the 25-yard line before he's tackled at the 26. 4th down and now 9 to go. That was a loss of 4 yards on the run, and Ely, not known to play quarterback for this team, makes it a 3 and out. The Edgewater Eagles will get it back going left to right.
And that play was stopped by Solomon Tripline. He's leading the edge of tackles right now, and he lays a wallop in the backfield. Phenomenal play by a linebacker who's had a great year.
So out to punt this one away. And A.J. Howard will take it back past the 40, now to the 40, or the 35, on the other side. And that's a return of about 20 yards by A.J. Howard.
Yeah, there's a flag on the play. I'm interested to see what that flag's going to be, but A.J. Howard does a good job. He gets good positioning, and based on their return, they expected it to be a kick right, just based on how the punt team for the Knights tried to create that net. And you get a good job by AJ just putting his foot in the ground, getting upfield, getting solid yards. Now now if you're an Edgewater Eagle fan, you're in your own territory. You forced the offense of the Knights to struggle, obviously sputtering to a stop, and essentially a 3-and-out. And now you have all the tools, all the weapons, and you're primed and ready to go. You're in prime field position. Let's see if they can take advantage of this opportunity.
9 minutes and 23 seconds left to go here in the first quarter. So the Edgewater Eagles offense will run out onto the field now. And Edgewater putting their, now the offense for the Knights is out onto the field. They're going to run right on the immediate first snap, and it's got a fumble on the play up to the 40, and it might be turned over by the Edgewater Eagles. The run was taken by Raekwon Lewis, and it might be knocked out by the Edgewater Eagles.
And that might be a phenomenal play by this.
Looks like it's still an Ocoee ball. Loss of 3 on the play.
We talk about this time and time again. When you have a situation where you're expecting the defense to be off, if you're a defensive player, you're going to sit
Flock
down
of Eagles on that tackle. We think Jaden Alexander is the one that stripped it.
It's be up. You don't have time to talk.
With a loss of 4 on the play, I bring up second down and long.
Everyone's running to grab their helmets. You're on the field. You make a play like that. That's what you want. Now it's second and long. You have an opportunity. If you're the Edgewater defense, you have an opportunity to make sure that you make this a third and long.
So Ely now under center will take the snap, and he will be sacked inside the 30. The ball came loose. The Edgewater Eagles might have fallen on top of it at the 29-yard line. Right hash. Waiting for the official call by it.
Still Ocoee's ball.
And Ocoee was able to fall on top of that one. So Ocoee is actually going to now bring in Gurrier, who will play the quarterback position. They tried it with Ely. It did not work.
Yeah, it didn't work, but at this point, it's not just the quarterback. You got to have some time back there. He has 0 time. His defensive front from Edgewater is doing anything they want to this whole line. TFL after TFL after TFL, third and a mile. There's not too much plays you can call up here unless it's a house call.
No.
Let's see what the Knights can do. Look at that.
Snap to Gurrier. Gurrier running towards the left side, past the 30, now the 35, 40. He's taking it himself. He got the first down past the 50-yard line and tackled at the 49 in Edgewater territory.
I know the play you call. Give it to Joshua Gurrier. You have immediate pressure by Mylan Bowen, who, by the way, has 3 sacks. You have immediate pressure when you break that to come on across the plane. You have 2 guys. You put your foot in the ground, left foot to be exact. You get 2 guys to smash into each other, and then you get a first down. That's incredible effort.
7 minutes and 17 seconds left to go here in the first quarter. And the chains move now at the 49-yard line. Right at midfield is where Gurrier will take the snap, and he does. And he'll hand it off to his tailback, Green, who blasts right up the middle, gets to the 47-yard line. That's a gain of 2, second down coming up with under 7 minutes to play in the first.
And that was all it took, realistically, Jesse. What we saw just now is Joshua Gurrier give his guys some hope. Obviously, the first series didn't go as planned. And from there, what you're able to do is get an explosive play, get a third in a million chance. You get that first down. Now you got the first, obviously you want a little more here, but with second and relatively long, you have an opportunity to not only cross the plane and get into your own territory, but give yourself a fighting chance to get your field goal team on there and really crack this game open.
2 receivers over to the right side of the line from right down the middle. This snap to Gurrier, who will float it over towards the right side. Incomplete. Nobody really in that general direction, but Gurrier felt the pressure coming in by Josh Alexander Felton, going to NC State, committed there as a senior. And he is the spark plug for this defense as he leads them in a number of categories.
And that play call is exactly what you're going to see, especially as the Edgewater defense goes on and does what they're supposed to do in the playoffs and postseason. You're going to see a lot of screen plays just because of how dominant this D-line is. And right there, they tried to execute that, but unfortunately for the Knights, nobody was ringing home. They understand that those linebackers are screaming.
Gurrier under pressure, and he's going to evade one tackle, Mylan Bowen. Now he makes it past the first down marker, past the 30, now the 20 before he ran out of bounds. Holy mackerel, that's a run of 25 yards from the 46-yard line. The chains move massively down from the right to the left.
So I look on the roster, it says Joshua Greer, but I look on the field, I see Lamar Jackson or Michael Vick.
It
This
looks like
man
we're already
is
at the first quarter
incredible.
water break.
81 yards in his last game. Doesn't tell the story of what this athlete can do. The strong safety wide receiver mix is now playing quarterback, 170 pounds, 5'11" as a junior. What he's done just in this first drive for this Edgewater defense is something we have not seen all year. True elite talent in Joshua Greer, number one for a reason.
6 minutes and 10 seconds left to go here in the first quarter as we're going to take a break from our broadcast. This is the NFHS Radio Network presented by CBS Sports Digital Network. .609 to go. Ball comes loose for the Ocoee Knights from the 29-yard line to the Edgewater Eagles fall on top of it. Yes, they did. Josh Alexander Felton in there to tear that one up.
What we've seen so far, the pressure from this D-line, Mylan Bowen, every single snap has been in the backfield. Obviously, we talk about Greer being able to make plays, and that's just because he's so athletic. But the D-line for this Edgewater is dominating. And right there, you see Josh Alexander Felton put a licking on the ball carrier there. Ball comes out. Edgewater offense has their time to shine for real this time. They actually are out there lining up. This is no game. So excited for what this Edgewater defense has been able to accomplish. Let's see if this offense can hold the road.
From the 37-yard line, they give it off to Samaj Fleming. First, Samaj Fleming up the middle. Got the first down from the 35. Now goes into the flat. On the near side, 30, 20, 10. And Samaj Fleming speed has struck through the lightning strike. Touchdown, Edgewater. Samaj Fleming from 57 yards out brings it to the house. One play, one touchdown score on senior night. Samaj Fleming now for the Edgewater Eagles with his fifth touchdown of the season.
Now you go 57 yards.
Wow. Brings his fifth touchdown in emphatic fashion. And if you guys like numbers, it was his fifth touchdown for 67 yards. So 5-6-7. Samaj Fleming going absolutely crazy. All he needs is one touch, and he's gone. Pulling away at the end. 3-year varsity player. He's done this time and time again. And what we've noticed is the more touches he gets, the more dynamic he gets. So if that's his first possession, his first touch, I'm excited to see what he's going to do in the fourth.
John 2 puts this one through with 5:48 to go here in the first quarter. It's a 7-0 game, and Samaj Fleming gets the Eagles on the board first. I meant to say that he actually,
for the latest official news
let's do the math here. He actually has 9 touchdowns this season. That was his 5th rushing touchdown of the season. He lined up in the backfield alongside Michael Clayton. We didn't even get to the receivers yet because I saw Kai Bates in the game, Alvin. I know that would excite you a little bit, but we didn't even get a chance to talk about that. So on the next possession, we will get a chance to talk about that. So the first Ocoee drive as they come out onto the field now. Gurrier had 2 rushes for 39 yards. The rest of the team minus 7 yards for 8 total plays, Alvin.
Yeah, and that stat is brought to us by our famous statistician, Braden Carter. He does an excellent job of just being on top of it, and that's exactly what this Edgewater defense is. They're on top of this night offense. We see exemplary performance by Gurrier, but we've seen this in a myriad of different performances in the NFL. We've seen this in college. It's 11 guys on the field for a reason. You need all 11 to show up and make plays. And for Gurrier, obviously, he's going to have a phenomenal game. But eventually, second half adjustment is going to kick in, and you're going to need some other guys to show up. And other guys such as Nathan Worrell, he had a good game in their last outing. I'm expecting him to show up here relatively soon for this offense. But, man, is this Edgewater defense, Edgewater offense, and even special teams, they're firing on all cylinders to start off senior night.
So here comes the kickoff. It will be a touchback. And so now bringing it out to the 20-yard line will be the Ocoee Knights. And let's just see. They started off the season starting Jackson Kaylor, who is a junior, 6'3", 195 pounds. Looks like he got hurt 2 games ago. And then they brought in Jakari Jackson, who's a sophomore, wide receiver, cornerback, free safety, and a quarterback is what he's listed at.
ATH.
Yeah.
Athlete, that's what that means. And realistically, they're just kind of shuffling through their quarterbacks here, and that's something that is really not what you want to be dealing with this portion of the season. This is where you want to start gearing up to start playing your best football, especially if they're a game below 500 against a stout team like this. They have a tough hand.
So Nathaniel Worrell will take the handoff as he goes towards the right side from the 20-yard line. Maybe made it back to the line of scrimmage as he ran towards the right. Got 1 extra yard is where they will mark him. 2nd down, 5:38 to go in the first.
And that's just not what you want to see as a running back. When you're, you get that ball in your chest and you're trying to make a move, you see that 3 technique just pile driving your guard. That does not bode well, and obviously they only get a yard there. So got to do a better job up front for the Knights. Their line has to create holes here. I understand the stoutness and the fear-monger that is the Edgewater defensive front, followed by those backers, but you got to create holes for your guys to run through.
Astron Ely is the quarterback, and he will take the snap from the 15-yard line, immediately rolls left, dumps it off towards that side. Pass will be caught by Travion Graves, and he's tackled out of bounds on the near side. Inside the 20, Jatorian Mack with the tackle.
Okay, so we talked about emotions here, and right now, this Edgewater team is playing with emotion in the perfect way. Jatorian Mack, not only did he read his keys, he was solid in his footwork, but he's able to break downhill and make a play, playing that inside hip and getting a nice roll tackle there for a loss as a corner when you get a screen route. That is phenomenal. Exemplary performance by this Edgewater defense to start. You got another 3rd and long for this Ocoee offense. Man, things look bleak, but they do have that guy.
So they will blast this one right up the middle. The carry was by Nathaniel Worrell, who gets up to the 20-yard line, but that's where this line of scrimmage was. So it'll be another 3 and out for the Ocoee Knights, who have been dealing with quarterback troubles, and it continues here. And out to kick this one away will be Jacob Munoz, and back to receive will be A.J. Howard and Jaden Brown. Jaden Brown standing on the far side, left hash at the 45-yard line. A.J. Howard on the near side at the 45, right hash. And Munoz will kick this one inside the 10, feeling the pressure, and it goes to the far side, past Jaden Brown, and now A.J. Howard will take it past the 40, now the 35, now the 30, got blocked up front, now the 20, makes a move towards the sideline, gets inside the 20, and they will mark him out at the 18-yard line. That's a great return of about 32 yards.
Almost a 30-yard
This Edgewater team in their red unis are dripping ragu sauce off the top shelf. A.J. Howard is just returning kicks like, I don't know if he's Tavon Austin, I don't know what highlight tapes he's been watching, but he needs to continue to do that because his ability to maneuver through traffic, use his blockers, and get upfield, you get it. The performance so far from this Edgewater team, it's giving a stat game. That's what we're seeing so far. They're already on the 20-yard line, and last time they only have 1 possession for 13 seconds. So let's see what happens here.
3 receivers stack up to the right side. They give it to Caden Shields-Dutton, who blasts right up the middle towards the outside from the 18, going towards the pylon. Caden Shields-Dutton.
18 yards.
That is an 18-yard touchdown for Caden Shields-Dutton. 5 touchdowns for him so far this season. 2 plays for the Edgewater Eagles, 2 rushing touchdowns. It's a 13-0 game with 3 minutes and 10 seconds left to go in the first quarter. And they've blown this one open at the beginning of the game. What an unbelievable play there. Caden Shields-Dutton, as a senior as well, came into this game with about 100 carries, over 300 yards, averaging around 5 yards per carry. And that's on the back of C.J. Baxter, who was their all-star last year, who went to Texas.
Jesse, so far, 14 points, 2 plays, 26 seconds time of possession.
Oh, man.
Have you ever heard a start like this?
That's unbelievable. I mean, it doesn't look like the gaps are closing either. That Edgewater front 7 is just really pushing the living heck out of the Ocoee defensive line.
You talk about the battle of the trenches. This game so far has just been won in the weight room. Whether it's the off-season program, whether the in-season program, it's just the physicality is uncanny for this Edgewater team. And we're seeing it on the defensive end. We're seeing it on the offensive end. And most importantly, the athletes. We've seen Samaj Fleming. We've seen Caden Shields. These are typically your first plays just to see what the defense is going to give you. And if those are the home run plays, I feel bad for the receivers. They're not going to get a chance here. A.J. Howard's going to have to get all his stats on punt return. That's what this game looks like.
So Ocoee seems to think that Edgewater might kick an onside kick here. Both guys back to receive are Joshua Guriel and Astron Ely. Guriel is on the far side with make that Marvin Brown on the near side. He's at the 10-yard line. So Edgewater kicking this one away from the 40 in a 14-0 game. 3 minutes and 10 seconds left as John Two sends this one from the 40. This one will go into the end zone again for a touchback. Edgewater loves not giving their opponent a chance to bring it out from the end zone.
Oh, for sure. Your first possession of defense is your kickoff. But we all know what Edgewater has come here to do. Is more importantly, let's see what Ocoee Knights have. Obviously, that first series, the only bright spot really was Joshua Guerrier. Obviously, we talked about how the whole team had -7 yards. He was the only one in 2 plays to have 26. So you have to figure out a way to get him the ball. It's been that direct snap. That's when they've been able to work. But obviously, you can't just rely on him making 4 or 5 guys miss 5 yards behind the line of scrimmage. You got to find a way to just scheme up more screens. That's the only thing that will work, because anything downfield, you just don't have the time for if you're a quarterback for the Knights. So they got to figure out a way to just scheme up a little bit of more of a China concept. We have that outside receiver really running a short, quick game, and just get that going and see if that'll give you some room.
Nathaniel Worrell is the tailback behind Astron Ely. They give it to Guriel, and he will blast up the middle. Worrell makes it up past the 25-yard line. That's a good pickup on first down. That's a pickup of about 8 yards. They almost made it to the 30. They mark him down at the 28. Second down with 3:02 left to go in the first.
Right on cue. They don't throw it. They realize what their deficiency was, his physicality. They run a power right up the middle, and you get 8 yards. That's exactly what you want. You have that H-back up there leading it in, leading the charge, and just creating room, and you have a phenomenal back in Worrell. And he's a senior. He knows what time it is. He knows what he has to do. And he brought his lunch pail.
Pistol formation out of the gun. Ely will take the snap from the 24-yard line, and he will give it up the middle to Worrell. Worrell tackled at the line of scrimmage. Maybe got 1 extra yard if the officials are generous. They will say that he did gain 1 yard on the play. 3rd and 1. Up to the 30.
That play was won by Mylan Bowen. He did not get the tackle there, but what he did was he created that running. He created a situation, a mess in the middle, and what that does is forces your running back to bounce. And when he bounces, that gives the linebackers time to scrape over the top. DBs can come down, safeties can run that alley, and that's what we saw there. So now you got another 3rd and short. Remember, last time they had this 3rd and short opportunity, they had a penalty that brought them back to 3rd and long. So they have to be stout here. Hold your water and see if you can make a play. I'm assuming it's going to be a power of some sort. You got that off H-back to your right.
The snap to Ely. Now they give it to Worrell, who tries to blast his way through the line on the right side. Did he get back to the line of scrimmage? Maybe he might be an inch or two short. That was a 3rd and 1 run. And they will say it was a little bit short. So it's 4th and inches.
Might as well go for it. Yeah. Every time they touch the ball on offense, they score. So might as well. It doesn't matter whether you punt it or not. They're going to score here. So what you want to do is see if you can't get something. What you've shown so far is you got that H-back to the right side. You've ran towards that H-back. If he's on the left side, you've ran towards him as well. Maybe an off direction, maybe a little bit of a motion, getting him into position. Just try to fool the defense just a little bit to get them slightly off key, get the eyes a little bit wrong there, and maybe you could utilize your strength and utilize Nathaniel Worrell's talent. See if you can't get a couple of inches there.
So they bring in big Haas defensive tackle Tavion Brown, who came sprinting into the lineup.
Timeout,
and Ocoee's going to have to take a timeout. Buck Gurley, who's in his first season as head coach, worked the clock down as much as he could. 51.6 seconds left to go here in the first quarter. It's a 14-0 game. Timeout on the field means we're going to take a timeout from the broadcast. You're listening to the Orlando Football Game of the Week presented by CBS Sports Digital Network. You can hear the band going in the background. We're in the first quarter, 51.6. The crowd is into it already. It's an electric atmosphere for a 4th and inches, and they're going to try to power this one up the middle. Ely takes the snap, goes towards the 30, diving forward. He might have gotten there. Bates on the far side official, who stands at the 31.5-yard line, or the 30.5-yard line, and the chains will move. It's a first down in their own territory, but Ocoee gets a much-needed first down.
Yeah, and really that's what's been working, unfortunately, has been those direct snaps to the quarterback, an athletic quarterback at that, and then from there let him maneuver and see what happens. And you have a few of those happen. And with the run game work, you have yourself a formula, because from there, if the run game's working, you can play action, get your quarterback to roll out a little bit, and you can have a little bit more of that short game that you can execute in the open space and take advantage of the DBs that we've seen. In our previous games, we've seen Edgewater struggle with. Have they fixed that this game? It seems so, but that's an angle that Ocoee Knights might be able to take advantage of.
One receiver over to the right side. They go direct snap to Worrell, who runs towards the right past the 31-yard line, and he made it maybe up to the 32 before he was tackled. It was a gain of just 1 yard, second down.
And right when you want to talk about Ocoee's offense and, they just get a first down and life is great and, the Blues are bluer. Well, unfortunately, the Reds are even redder. The Edgewater Eagle defense is not playing around. They're not going to allow this Ocoee offense to get to that half-field line. I don't think that in their mind that they see themselves getting on their territory. They've done such a good job of just being aggressive, playing downhill. Nothing has threatened them. The DBs are chilling right now. They haven't been threatened downfield. And then your linebackers are scraping, and that's more importantly because the D-line has been able to get hands and just absolutely dominate. Every defensive player or every offensive player, every football fan knows what a board drill is. And right now, the board drill count is 30-0 all Edgewater. They've been dominating in the trenches, and it shows in the scoreboard.
14-0 the score after the first. We'll come back in a second here on CBS Sports Digital Network for the second quarter. Welcome back to our Orlando Football Game of the Week. 12 minutes up on the scoreboard. We're starting the second quarter in Ocoee territory. It's a 2nd and 9 from the 32-yard line, and they'll go the snap to Gurrier, and he will take it towards the left side. Pat went back to the 25, now up to the 30 before he is tackled, probably at the line of scrimmage on the left hash. It'll be 3rd and a mile and a half to go, and it looks like these direct snaps are getting snuffed out by Edgewater a little bit more.
You can't have just one play against a team, especially a team like Edgewater. Their record isn't the way it is because one play beat them. Obviously, we know it hasn't. With Ocoee Knights, right now what we're witnessing is domination. They're continuously fighting, and that's what you want. You have to just continue to scratch and claw because you're going to find something that works. You're going to find a chink in the arm, and from there you can just keep hammering home on that imperfection, and hopefully it can yield you results. But right now, that direct snap, linebackers are scraping. They're reading it.
So Gurrier drops back to the 25-yard line before he gets a steam of ball, and now the ball comes loose at the 40, and the Eagles will get it on the turnover. It was a fumble loss at the 40. I was saying he was trying to grind up some energy as he went back to the 25 to go forward, But you never want to go backwards in this game and give Edgewater a chance to set their defensive line.
Yeah, and really the funniest part is that he was actually just doing a typical five-step drop back because his receivers are going out to pass, and just like that, before he could finish his third step, D-line's already on him, and he goes up the field and he tries to make a play. And we talk about them bringing their hard hat and their lunch pail. Unfortunately, Edgewater ripped that out like Debo, and they're back on offense. So not letting them get to the half-field line. This is just an absolute walloping.
So now the Edgewater Eagles, Michael Clayton throws his first pass of the game. A.J. Howard, the reception, past the 34, first down, as Clayton took the snap from the 40-yard line, and A.J. Howard made it a 15-yard gain. 1st and 10 Eagles in Ocoee territory.
And we got our binoculars looking into the away sideline. They're doing a slow clap. That's the first tackle this defense was able to get.
From the 25, Michael Clayton goes hard count, and now they'll reset. So now I can reset as well. Kai Bates is on the left side of the line. He's the sole receiver out wide to the left, and now they'll bring him in. So a lot of open space into the flat and the left quarter of the field. Michael Clayton takes the snap from the 20, now gives it to Caden Shields. That already has a touchdown in this game. Blockers up front, tries to make some tacklers miss, but he gets up to the 26. Flag came out from the secondary. Let's see what that one's about. It'll bring up 2nd down and 10 unless this one gets moved backwards for a hold by the offensive line.
So Michael McClinton was the one who made that play. 6 foot, 225-pound sophomore. I'm not sure what the water he's drinking is, but I need some of that for my children. But he had 16 tackles in their last game, 2 TFLs, and 2 sacks. So when the defense is able to stop that initial play, right now we're seeing an opportunity. It was a holding. You got 1st and a mile. Let's see if this defense can do something. Hold the rope here and just give your offense a little bit of a chance. Give them time to make adjustments on the offensive side and be a good teammate here and try to get themselves a stop.
Hard count for the Eagles. Flag came out, and this will walk back the other direction. So Edgewater got caught with a passer interference on the offense, and now it'll walk back 5 yards into Ocoee territory. So it'll be 1st down from the 30 and 15 to go for the Edgewater Eagles. 2-by-2 formation from the 30, right down the middle, in between the hashes. Gun left for Clayton, who takes the snap from the 37-yard line, throws it over the middle, incomplete. Just a little bit high of his man. It'll bring up 2nd down.
And right there, what he's trying to do is he's trying to find that soft window for A.J. Howard to just get it over. Obviously, if you're throwing a fade ball, you don't have enough time to throw it at the top of the route. You have to throw it really – you have to have a lot of anticipation on that ball. And you have 2nd and long. Obviously, the Ocoee Knight defense gave them an opportunity by McClinton just jumping off sides there and giving them those 5 yards. But now here you get 2nd down. This is the farthest you've been for this defense. Be stout here, be controlled, and most importantly, read your keys. See if you can't hold them to 3 points. That would be a win for this defense.
One receiver over to the left side. Brandon Paul in motion to the left slot. One receiver over to the right. Gun left for the Eagles as Clayton takes the snap, drops back to the 40, flips it up forward to Caden Shields Dunn, who's got some room to go, hits off his line, goes forward even more, past the 1st down marker, inside the 15. A flag came out again from the 20. That one might be coming back. It might be a block up front by the offense.
And unfortunately, with those screens, this Edgewater offense is just so explosive. We talked about the explosive plays that they usually bring up and just the ability to be so creative. Coach Mark Duke has done a phenomenal job of getting guys where they need to be. But when you're in that situation, you're running into the crowd of hogs. That's what you call them, pigs on parade. That's what you call that screen. When you have that happen, typically jerseys get grabbed in different places. You might get a hand on that back plate. That's the hardest position to be in, especially as an O-lineman. And fortunately for the Knights, they take advantage of that. Now it's back to 2nd and long. What you want to focus on here is holding your water. You might dial something up here. It might be a little bit protected. Right now it looks like they're in that 1 high, so I'm not sure if they're going to have a safety rollback or what they're going to do here, but you want to make sure you're reading your keys and stay stout. Don't let anything beat.
2 receivers left, 1 over to the right. Clayton takes the snap. Play action will roll towards the left side. Behind the 40-yard line. Throws it forward. Pass is incomplete. He threw it up to the 25-yard line. A.J. Howard made a desperation dive, but couldn't get it before it bounced. With 9:41 left to go and 14-0 game, it's 3rd down and long to go for the Edgewater Eagles in Ocoee territory.
Diego De Piana does a phenomenal job. 1 TFL in his last game, 8 tackles right there. Pressures Michael Clayton. And if he doesn't do that, Michael Clayton's able to set his feet and throw it down the field to Kai Bates, who won on that post route. He is going to LSU for a reason, and the pressure by number 45 made that play.
Luke Anderton now in the game on the far side as the receiver. They go direct
wow.
snap to Caden Shields Dutton. Full steam ahead up the middle, and he goes past the 20-yard line. That's a run of about 20 yards, but he's still short of the first down marker because of the penalties. Made it to the 19-yard line. It's 4th and a few, and
they're going for it.
Yeah, you have to go for it.
It's senior night.
Yeah.
You're going for it. And realistically, they're taking the play out of their playbook. That direct snap, Michael Clayton acts like it goes over his head, and he gets hit. Shields doesn't get hit 5 yards. He takes it 5 yards. That's just moving your legs. Gotta love that.
The defense is in man. Jackson Starkey goes into the slot on the left side. Edgewater goes hard count, calls a timeout from the 19-yard line right at midfield. 9:03 to go, 14-0 game. We'll take a timeout here on our Orlando Game of the Week, presented by CBS Sports Digital Network. John 2 out to kick a 35-yard field goal. 9:03 to go here in the second quarter. 14-0 game. Here comes a 35-yarder right down the middle for John 2. Snap, good spot down. The kick is up, and it is beautiful. John 2 is good as ever, and he's going to find himself at a major Division I university with his leg. And it's just the pinpoint accuracy for him. We don't really talk about him a lot, but kickers are so important in football. He's not just, a guy that has a big leg, but he's also got a really big brain. He's really smart as well, Alvin.
Yeah, not just an athlete, and that's what you can say about, I want to say everyone on the field today, on both sides. Obviously, when you see a guy that's talented, you really just want to put him in a box, and I love that all these athletes have aspirations to do things outside of just that, being an athlete, and they utilize that platform to be great humans, and that's what Coach Mark Duke has really done a good job of emphasizing and really developing in these young men. But most importantly, we have to go back to Ocoee Knights doing a good job. That's a win for them. Obviously, 14, when they scored their 14 points, that was just 2 plays, 26 seconds. They forced a drive. Myriad of penalties aided them, but you have to take advantage of the opportunities given. You force them to have 3. So right now, if you're Ocoee, that's a step in the right direction. So what you're wanting is for your offense to do a better job of holding the rope, and not just that, see if you can crack that goose egg and turn it into either 3 or 7.
Marvin Brown and Joshua Gurriel are back to receive inside the 10-yard line on the far side. Standing at the 7-yard line, left hash is Marvin Brown, and on the right hash, on the exact opposite side, Joshua Gurriel, who ran him for over 86 yards in their last game. John 2 blasts this one out of the back of the end zone for a touchback.
Yeah, he's just showing off his leg right now. And honestly speaking, as a guy who ran on kickoffs, and you see people get depleted, it's like off a movie Troy, where you're running down and dudes are just getting deleted left and right. You kind of want to see it get put back into the end zone, because from there you know where you're starting from. As a defensive player, you can go out there and make a play. So good job by John 2, just showing off his leg, letting everybody know what he can do. And now you give this Edgewater defense an opportunity to do something special, just like what they've done all game.
For even feeding over 100 big eaters, coaches, and football support staff. Let's give it up for those.
So the quarterback,
keeping our football team.
It looks like they're going to stick
eating a bunch of food
with Ace-Tron Ely, and he will hand it off to Raymond Green, who goes towards the left side, and that will be a tackle for a loss. Cornelius Bass able to get in there for a 2-yard loss, second down.
6'1", 220 pounds, and he put all of that into that play there. We've talked about this D-line time and time again, and what we're seeing is domination, and they're not letting up. Senior night, you got your man, your man's here, your auntie, your dad, everyone who's really focused on coming here for this game, for this moment. This Edgewater defense isn't rattled. They've been playing their tail off, and they're trying to do something special, do something they haven't done all year, which is pitch a shutout.
So Joshua Guriel will take over at the quarterback position. It seems like him and Ely will be switching out drives. So now Guriel will be back to pass inside the 10-yard line. Pump fakes, now throws it forward. Ball tipped in the air, incomplete. His intended receiver on the out route was Marvin Brown.
But Jatorian Mack was there, and he had something to say about it. He had 5 things to say. Each one of his fingers got a paw on there, and when you get a tip pass, obviously you want that to be picked off, but that's just a great job. It's a route within 5 yards on an out, so it's difficult for guys to scrape over and get over that quick. But if your guys are able to react on that, breaking on that kind of stuff, it's phenomenal, especially with your linebackers and your D-line playing the way that it's playing. DBs, your ears are pinned. You understand you're only going to get 5 to 10-yard routes, so you got to be stout in that area, and that's what we saw just there.
3rd and 12 from the 19-yard line. Empty backfield now for Guriel. He will have to air this one out. 2-by-3 formation with the receivers going left to right. Guriel takes the snap now, wants to run it himself. He's going to be sacked inside of the 10-yard line. Mylan Bowen came in for the tackle.
The craziest part about this sack, they only had 3 down linemen. They had that Ocoee front going. And usually in that Ocoee front, you're not expecting your D-line to make a play, and Miles Bowen does just that. He's had opportunities. He's been rushing earlier, but Joshua Guerrero has been able to make a miss right there. He says, no, you got 4th and a mile. Right now, what it looks like on this possession, if you're Edgewater, they might pin their ears back and try to go get this block.
Number 5, Michael McClinton back to.
So McClinton will be back to punt this one away. He's in the end zone right now, goes over towards the right hash, puts this one in the air, signaling for a fair catch will be A.J. Howard at about the 48-yard line.
And
25 net yards.
That rugby style where you draw it out so long, that's phenomenal if it's, it gives you opportunity when it's 4th and short. So what you can do is you can pull that thing down and you can really run out and get a couple of blockers out there and really make a play. It makes it easy to run a fake. So Ocoee might be in a situation where they've shown that, and now that you see that, they might be able to take advantage of special teams here. Let's see if that's something that comes to fruition as this game rages on.
Edgewater will take this one from the 45-yard line. 7:07 to go. It's a 17-0 game. Michael Clayton sends Samash Fleming in motion, and a flag comes out. That one might come back, Roots.
That's the only thing that's slowing this Edgewater offense down.
We're thinking
is
false start
themselves.
On the offense.
Penalties. That's something that in a game like this, whenever homecoming, senior night,
Eagles
first game of playoffs,
1st and 15
these are things you're going to have to rectify in order to make the push that everyone in red is hoping that they go on.
Brandon Paul now in the game. Edgewater is going to go in pro set formation in the backfield, which means Michael Clayton will stand at the 45-yard line left hash with the ball being snapped from the 50. It's 1st and 15 for the Eagles. And now Michael Clayton's left hip is Caden Shields-Dutton. Clayton will throw this one forward, and Caden Shields-Dutton just can't hang on to it. It was a quick screen up to the 50, and it was just a little bit far for Caden Shields-Dutton, but he was feeling the pressure being brought in by big Diego DePina, the middle linebacker.
Yeah, and on the scouting report, that's somebody you circle him. Number 44, Justin Wilson, and number 5, Michael McClinton. And right there, just able to put that thing right in the breadbasket, because if he does that, Caden Shields-Dutton hits his head on the goalpost like he's done earlier in this game. So just a missed opportunity, but it's 2nd and long. You have a plethora of time to do just that, hit your head on the goalpost. Let's see if it happens here.
Pistol formation, Brandon Paul in motion, the snap to Clayton. Now they give it to Shields-Dutton, who makes it past the 50. Now rolls towards the flat on the left side, past the 40. And that's a good pickup there. A flag came out at the end of that play.
Fleming on the carry.
Everyone who had a flag threw a flag.
Yeah.
Gain of 10 on the play.
So if it stands, that was a 2nd and
Lots of flags on the
15.
play.
Made it up inside the 40 to the 38. So it'd be 3rd and about 3.
Yeah, Yeah, I'm not a betting
Who
man,
got
but
weight, yeah.
I would want to say it might be on
Edgewater.
Yeah.
For sure, Edgewater. So this one
Holding on the Eagles.
instead becomes a 2-yard gain from the 50. Now they move to the 48. Now in Ocoee territory, but they'll replay the down. So second down and 13 to go.
Gain of 2.
Oddly enough,
Now
I do
second
feel like they
13
convert
for the
this.
Eagles.
Really? Second and 13. Okay, Alvin put his guess out there. 6:46 to go in the second quarter. Caden Shields done the left hip of Michael Clayton, and at his right hip is Samaj Fleming. 2 receivers over to the right side of the line, 1 over to the left, and now they will send Samaj Fleming into the left slot. From the 48, here's Michael Clayton back to pass, throwing it deep downfield. Samaj Fleming, the reception inside the 10.
Complete to Samaj Fleming. Now you see Maj, now you don't.
That's a 40-yard pickup for a first down. They're in the red zone.
Yeah, so it turns out that my gambling skills are, sharpened up. So
yards on the reception.
what you see from Michael Clayton is phenomenal. He sees no safety. That means they're in nasty coverage, meaning everyone's manned up. You got no help. Dials up a fade route by Samaj Fleming. He wins off the line, and from there, there's nothing you could do. Pinkies together, big play. First down. You got to love that from the Edgewater.
It's a 17-0 game. They will give it to Caden Shields Dutton, who goes as the steam train will. Touchdown, Edgewater.
Caden Shields Dutton, the offense.
Just like that. It's just 2 plays. You get Samaj ISO'd out there on a corner, and listen, he's a great guy, but he's just not as good as Samaj, and he takes advantage of that. You get a pat and go. That's what it looked like, out of bounds, and then Caden Shields Dutton gets hit at the 5-yard line. Doesn't matter. He Nick Chubbs it in by taking everyone with him. And just like you said, as Caden Shields Dutton goes, so does the locomotive. They get another 6.
A direct snap back for the Eagles. This one will be running for a 2-point conversion. They're just having too much fun. It was a 23-0 game. Now make that 25. Edgewater playing for a running clock here in this second half of this game with 6:05 to go here in the second. It's 25-0, Alvin, as Caden Shields Dutton takes it in for his second touchdown of the day from the 10-yard line. He's unstoppable.
Yeah, and really, they're trying to get a running clock so they can go home and party. But realistically, they got homework too. They're going to go ahead and go home, do some homework, and get home early. So really, just excellent execution. What we've seen offensively has been sharp. They've been locked in. They've been ready to go. And on the defensive side, it's night and day. The physicality within the trenches on both sides have just been phenomenal. Nothing short of exemplary. And this Ocoee night, offense or defense, hasn't figured it out. And to be honest with you, I just don't think they can, because you can't just turn on physicality. Physicality is something that you work on in the offseason. It's a mindset. It's a culture. And right now, Edgewater team, offense, defense, special teams, they have it.
25-0 again the score. 6:05 to go here in the second quarter. We know this is a little bit of a switch up between what we normally would have. Usually it's, a video stream, but it's radio today. We love radio. CBS Sports Digital Network Radio.
We got faces for radio.
Yes, I do. All right, back to receive for Ocoee. Inside the 10-yard line is Joshua Guriel and Marvin Brown. This one goes through the end zone for another touchback. Edgewater just not letting Ocoee do anything. So far, Edgewater with 5 first downs, Ocoee with 4, but the number of plays for Edgewater, 11. Ocoee's run 21 plays, Alvin, and they're down by 25.
Those stats actually show exactly what just happened. Rick Fortius, number 12, a receiver, a senior at that, 6'1", 171, getting into it a little bit on the KOR. But that's not a bad thing. I don't say that in a negative sense. I say that because that makes me excited, especially if you're a Knight fan. A little bit of fire under your guys, a little bit of aggression, a little bit of passion. That's what you need. Obviously, you want it to be within the scope. You want it to be within the rules of the gridiron. You have plenty of opportunities to let all that out. But hopefully, that might ignite something. Someone's a little bit angry here because you don't want to be the team on someone else's senior night. That is just disrespectful all fronts, and you should take it as that. And for you to get thumped, that means that the disrespect was well deserved. So hopefully that little bit of a skirmish allows the Ocoee Knights to just get a little bit of fired up, and from there make the plays that need to be made, and hopefully do something that they haven't been able to go all day. And that's just get to the 50-yard line.
Yeah. Aestron Ely is the quarterback. Nathaniel Worrell is the tailback. Ely will take the snap and will be at the 15-yard line. Will hand off to Worrell. Ball comes loose. It's a fumble. And now Ely will be tackled for a loss at the 13-yard line. That's a loss of about 7 or 8 yards.
Oh, you just gotta love that. A DB sees the ball on the ground and puts his foot in the ground and just locomotive train downhill right through the thigh, makes the play. There's a flag on the play. We don't know what it is, but all I know is that Jatorian Mack is thumping. He had a big play on the 30-yard line on the other side in that first quarter, and then you come back on this play. He is reading his keys. Probably not at this point. He's probably reading the tackle because there's nothing going downfield. That might be a problem if you run a play action, but for that play on that first down, it worked out for TFL.
Empty backfield for Ely, who takes the snap from the 12-yard line. Ely will run it himself towards the far side, and he was met by the Edgewater defensive front before he got 2 yards on the play. Flags come out after the play. That one might go against Edgewater.
Yeah, and they threw the refs. It was synchronized swimming at that point, synchronized throwing. But there's just nowhere to go. There's just literally nowhere to go. And you got to feel at this point for Ocoee, everything they try to do is just getting stomped out, sniffed out. And from there, you get met with a bunch of Rydell. I'm pretty sure they're going to be at the tattoo removal place trying to get rid of those Rydells and shut tattoos that they're seeing on their chest and on their forehead. It's just been an absolute thumping by this Edgewater defense.
You know what's interesting is that a face mask goes against the Edgewater defense, which will push Ocoee down the field and make it an automatic first down. The interesting thing is that Ocoee was a Final Four team last year, Alvin. And that means in your respective division in Florida, you are one of the top 4 teams in that division. And it's actually in the larger division than Edgewater, and Ocoee comes into this game at 3-4. I don't want to say if that might change here, but
listen, in college, we talk about how important it is when your guys leave, and you talk about recruiting. In high school, you can't recruit. You just got who you got. And year by year, it changes. It fluctuates.
The snap to Ely. They give it off to Worrell, who runs up the middle, maybe for an extra yard or 2. Second down, still inside the 35-yard line. They made it up to the 32 left hash.
And obviously, that's no shade to who's on the field right now, but it's a different team than it was last year. Even now, a lot of the guys that are playing are juniors and seniors, so next year is going to look different because the seniors are going to have a different role. And then the year after that, you're going to have a bunch of new guys. So year by year it changes. It's even more exacerbated in high school than it is in college. Obviously, in the NFL, you know, everyone's pretty stout. That's the end mark. But college and high school, it fluctuates so much. It's tough to be dominant, and that's really kudos to what Edgewater's been able to do over the last, 5 years?
25-0 the score in the game, under 4 minutes to play in the second quarter. Ely will take the snap from the 31-yard line. He will roll towards the right, looking that direction. Now under pressure, steps up past the 25, throws it over the middle, and that one will be completed to Zion Hall.
14-yard gain, first down, Ocoee.
And that'll go up to the 46-yard line. It's a 1st and 10 for the Knights, much needed.
There to make the stop.
Zion Hall, a senior, runs a phenomenal route. He runs a winning route. And what he does, he sits it down into that open spot of the zone, able to get his hands. You just got to love.
25-0, still the score in the game. 3:19 to go here in quarter number 2. Ely will take the snap now from the 47-yard line, right hash. Hall in motion towards the left. They will keep it with Ely. And Ely met at the line of scrimmage, but maybe able to get an extra 2 or 3 yards out of that one. Made it up to the 49. How about 3 yards there after the contact? It'll be a second down now.
Yeah, these are the plays you need. And it all started with Zion just getting a pass and moving the chains. It just takes a little bit of fire and a little bit of wood to get a real nice fire started, and that's what they need. They just need to get down the field. 25-0, 2:39 left in the half. Jesse, it's looking crazy if you're a Knight fan. You just got to find some type of solace, some type of silver lining.
3-by-1 formation with his receivers. They will immediately toss it over towards the left side. Tavion Greaves gets the reception now down the far sideline, past the 40, makes the move into the flat, and now steps out of bounds around the 30-yard line. That's a big first down pickup for the Knights.
Okay, so this is what I figured out. This is the Colorado Buffs against a big team. And what I mean by that is the line is not getting the job done. But when I tell you they have athletes between Tavion Greaves and Joshua Greer, I don't know who's faster or more elusive. He looked like he came across that corner like Noah Lyles. He was getting downfield. If he didn't step out of bounds, he might have been able to do something special here. So really excited for the receiving core of this group, just if they have enough time to get the ball to them.
They will hand this one off to Worrell as he goes towards the right side of the line and makes it to the 31-yard line. Up the middle. That's a pickup of about 4 on the carry, second down.
This is the first time we've seen this Edgewater defense where the body language is hands over the hips, doubled over, just a little bit tired, a little bit winded. This is really the first time we've seen Ocoee Knights throw a punch in this fight, if you will, and it's looking like a Mike Tyson type punch because they're able to do something here. Second and long, obviously, you still got a lot of work to do. The job isn't done, but I'm excited to see hopefully they turn this thing into something.
Ely out of the gun left with Worrell at his left hip. He will throw it over towards the right side, immediately caught by Greaves, and now Greaves will make it past the 30-yard line before he dives forward inside of it, and he made it up to the 27-yard line. Defensive coordinator Kyle Joyce a little bit upset with how his defense played on that one. Third down and now about 3 or 4 to go with 1:32 left in the second quarter, 25-0 game.
You got tip of the spear drill, Josh Alexander Felton, Solomon Tripline, and Jaden Brown all figureheading, trying to get that tackle, and he still figures out a way to get 5 yards. That just shows how elusive Tavion Greaves is and his ability to just get upfield and get positive yards, and that's what they're going to have to do. That was a screen by the second receiver. He's able to bubble out and get positive yards. You have to do more of that if they hope to win.
Ely out of the gun left. Worrell will be sent out towards the left side, and now they'll immediately pass to him, and a big hit on the far side by Kai Bates at the 30. A flag comes out on the near side very late.
Oh, that's definitely going to be unsportsmanlike. Unfortunately, I don't like that call because, you get a dream-like hit in that situation. I don't understand what you're supposed to do. But Kai Bates, the ability to get downhill is uncanny. That play right there, the design, you have trips to the boundary, and what you're trying to do, you're trying to manipulate the X receiver in that field side. There's so much space. They're assuming that he's going to run some type of a stem, some type of a deep route, some type of a double move. But the way that this game has gone, where the line has not been able to protect, Kai Bates is sitting on that. He's not going to bite on a deep route. He's going to be aggressive at the line of scrimmage, understanding that they're styling something up defensively. And then when you float that tailback out there and you don't put it right on his chest right immediately as he gets out there, you set up an opportunity to get a big play there. And that's what Kai Bates did, absolutely leveling him. He's up now, but that was an absolute shot. Kai Bates thumping today.
Foul on the Knights.
So we have now a personal foul on the
penalty
Knights.
Occurred after the play, so it'll still be. So we're coming up on 4th down here.
25-0, a minute and 4 seconds left. Ball be placed at the 42-yard line, right hash, and the Knights will come out now for a 4th down and long. It's
I don't see a punt formation
15
out
to
for
go. No,
Ocoee.
4th and 17 to go. And now McClinton will be back to kick this one away. Jaden Brown back to receive this one. McClinton makes it up to the 50 before he punts this one well out of bounds.
But that might have been the spot they needed if they get it within
Excellent
10.
Punt by
That was
Ocoee
exactly
punter.
what
Backs
you
the
need,
Eagles all
rugby
the way
style
up to
punt.
their 10-yard
Maybe
line.
this might
The
be
Eagles will
something
take
different.
over
We
with
haven't seen
56
Edgewater backed up in
seconds
their
left
own
in the half.
territory.
Leading
Obviously, you have to do the
25-0.
work here. You have to make sure you're stout. But that was the best offensive drive we've seen from Ocoee, and it ends in a punt. So not what you want if you're the Knights, but you do a good job just now flipping the field. But in order to complete that, your defense has to maintain this field position.
Left tackle Chance Macon, left guard Nathan Duquesne, center Ja'Cory Harris.
If you can't hear in the background, we're talking about the offensive linemen
Austin Taylor
over the loudspeaker.
Thomas.
I apologize if that gets on air.
Give it up for the
56.5 seconds left. Hey, but shout out to the offensive line, but 56.5 seconds left to go here in the second quarter. It's a 25-0 game. Wow, now I can hear my own self think. That's good.
What do you think about now, buddy?
I'm thinking what you're thinking, and you're thinking this might go 90 yards to the house on a run to Caden Shields Dutton. So let's see what happens. Actually, Samaj Fleming will go out of the Wildcat, and he stands at the 5-yard line, left hash. The ball will be snapped from the 10. Samaj Fleming going to go out to the left side, past the 15, misses one tackler, and dives out of bounds around the 20-yard line. That's a first down. They'll have to move the chains.
And one name we haven't said was Zion Mitchell, and obviously he's been exemplary in their previous games. He's always been the big play guy, and for them to have this many touchdowns without Zion even touching the football is just incredible. And I give all the credit to Edgewater for just being able to manipulate situations and take advantage of the opportunities that they've been given. Because obviously everyone puts their pants on, they put their shoes on, they strap their shoulder pads, put their helmet on the exact same way. But when you step out on the field and just show this level of dominance, you have to take your hats off and give credit where credit's due.
And the unfortunate part is you actually will not see Zion Mitchell today. He's out with a broken collarbone. Unfortunately, you hate to see it. And he was having a stellar season too. He led the Eagles this year in receptions with around 20, 300 yards, and quite a few touchdowns, about 6 receiving. And he was absolutely tearing it up. Zion Mitchell, the senior, we're going to hope he gets a few offers because that kid should be going somewhere.
Yeah, he's done great work, and obviously the injury is super unfortunate, and really hoping his recovery process is as clean as his route running.
47.8 seconds left. Michael Clayton over the middle, and that catch is made by Mylan Bowen past the 50. The big man from the defense gets inside the 50, now in Ocoee territory. Clock's at 40.5 seconds left. Edgewater slowly marching their way down the field, but they're going to go hurry up in this offense. 4 receivers over towards the right side. Mark Duke wants A.J. Howard to line up on the left side of the line. They're going to keep this one rolling. Direct snap, Caden Shields done. Rolls out to the outside, breaks one tackle, gets a first down up towards the 30. Our chains aren't even moving fast enough to get down the field. They're walking. What are they doing? Who's paying these guys?
Nobody.
1 receiver left, 3 over to the right. Michael Clayton slowing it down now from the 38-yard line. He takes the snap, looking downfield towards the near side. Pass cut. A.J. Howard walks in for a touchdown. 34 yards.
Touchdown, Eagles!
5-finger discount for number 3, Mylan Bowen. Not only is he doing it on the defensive end, he does it with the left, puts up that big hand, and gets him a one-handed grab down the seam to get this drive going. And, of course, A.J. Howard's going to get his, and he gets himself a tutty to end the half. That's exactly what you want on senior night for this Edgewater offense. They just having fun at this point.
Caden Harrison will hold this one. John 2 back to kick this one away. It's 31-0. And they scored with 12.9 seconds left. So they went the length of the field in 42 seconds. So the kick is up, and it is good for John 2.
Man, that's
it's
incredible.
It's a 32-0 game.
Listen, I don't think anyone has as complete of a game as Mylan Bowen. This man has got himself a sack. He's got himself multiple TFLs, and now he got himself a drive started. He's going to get himself a sticker for that. On a touchdown drive, he initiates it by getting a left one-handed grab over the seam. There's a safety there. There's a linebacker there. Yes, he got hawked down, but he's a D lineman. He's 230 pounds. That's exactly what you want on senior night. You know, when they got that call, I could just imagine how happy he was knowing that this ball might go to him and he might do something special in front of his family, in front of a packed house at Frank Lough Field. You just got to love the play calling and just giving guys opportunities to have fun on senior night.
So Zion Mitchell out, unfortunately, but they still have the most dynamic receiving core in all of high school football. A.J. Howard, interestingly enough, that's his first touchdown reception of the year.
Yeah, but he's done such great work. It's incredible what he's been able to do, and he's pretty much always open. You give him those deep route concepts. His ability to just break on that last step on that corner, it really fakes that post and gets open on that corner. The post is his deep route concept and route running and smarts and IQ is all there. It's all in that package. It's just there's so many mouths to feed on this offense, and Michael Clayton has a ways to go to get to where Brock Purdy is with sharing the wealth.
So John 2 will kick this one away out of the back of the end zone for a touchback with 12.9 seconds left to go here in the first half. So Mylan Bowen on that last drive had one reception for 32 yards. Mind you, he's a defensive lineman, right? One reception for 32 yards. Coach Cam Duke drew that up for him. They've been trying to get Mylan Bowen a couple runs in this offense. He's only got one so far this season. Been very adamant about it in practice that he wants a pass play as well on offense. That would make his senior season and his whole Edgewater career a success in his eyes. He's got one reception for 32 yards. Ocoee has only 33 receiving yards in this game, courtesy of Braden Carter.
And yeah, Braden Carter is phenomenal what he's able to do with the stats. And right now you have your D lineman who's doing a phenomenal job, obviously at the D line. He has with one hand, mind you, just as much receiving yards as your entire receiving core. That hurts, and that's something that they're going to have to focus on as they go into halftime.
Pro set formation and a kneel down by Joshua Greer. And through the first half, it's a 32-0 game, Alvin. This is a thumping for first-year head coach Buck Gurley, who played with the Florida Gators all 4 years of his college, and he won a Super Bowl championship with the Buccaneers in 2002, but he's turned around the likes of Lake Mary Prep and Colonial High School, but, you know, not a team that necessarily needed a turnaround since they were a Final Four team last year. But Ocoee having a lot of trouble getting their offense going. Seems like they need someone that can throw the football, clearly, because if a defensive lineman for the Edgewater Eagles has more receiving yards after one reception than your whole team has, you might need to change something up.
Yeah, but realistically, this isn't something you're going to be able to just do in one half. The biggest issue is that your D-line for Edgewater is dominating. The battle of the trenches is unequivocally been in Edgewater's favor, both offensively and defensively, and that's not something you could just go into the locker room, yell at a couple guys, and get guys to get going. You might have to change up your scheme, might have to go to more of a gap scheme because the run's been able to work a little bit offensively. The direct snaps with your quarterback has been able to run, most importantly with Joshua Greer, and you've been able to have some success with Tavion Greaves as well, and you're just going to have to scheme up more ways to get them involved. But what we're seeing from Michael Clayton and this Edgewater offense, Samaj Fleming, these guys are just uncanny. Their ability to get loose. And we're seeing that there's a lot of athletes on this field, but when you scheme up guys properly and when you have confidence, it's a different ball game. Edgewater, it's their night. It's senior night, and they're showing it.
As we go into the half, it is a 32-0 game. What a first half we saw by the Edgewater Eagles. Can Ocoee figure it out in the second half? Well, we'll find out in just a sec. Until then, eat a snack, take a nap, do whatever you need to do, because we got more football on the other side of the half. We'll be back with you in 15 minutes on CBS Sports Radio Network. Welcome back to second half action here on CBS Sports Digital Radio Network. Jesse O, Alvin Delvey. The Edgewater Eagles are absolutely putting the beat down on the Ocoee Knights, 32-0 as we get set for a third quarter of action. Alvin, second half adjustments for Ocoee. What you got?
Physicality. That's it. Just physicality in the trenches. And if you can handle that, this game will figure itself out. Obviously, we're on the verge of a running clock here, so things are looking very dicey if you're the Ocoee Knights, but it all starts with physicality. And if you're able to just win in the trenches, create lanes offensively for your running backs and allow them to maneuver, and then running backs, I mean Nathaniel Ward, you have a solid chance. Obviously, coming into this game, he had more rushing more rushing yards on average, 10 more than that of Caden Shields Dutton. Obviously, this game has turned out and flipped that average upside down. But on the defensive end, it's the exact same thing. If you could get to Michael Clayton and force him to deal with those hits and force him to make errant throws off that, then that's your only opportunity. Because if you don't get hits on Michael Clayton, he's going to nickel and dime, or he's going to get that big play, and he's going to make things shake.
So on the kickoff to start the second half, the kick goes way less far than they wanted it to go. The short kick up to around the 35-yard line. So the Eagles will take it there. First down, going left to right as we're seeing it up here from the press box. And they'll be at the left hash at the 35-yard line. So the Edgewater Eagles offense pretty dominant in that first half, Alvin.
Yeah, and that you're trying to switch it up on the special teams. You're trying to get that sky or that pooch kick. And obviously, like you said, just a little bit shorter than what they would have wanted. And now you give them opportunity to just make another big play. But like we mentioned earlier, if they could up their physicality and just dominate in the trenches, D-line, get their hands on and hands off of those linemen, allow your linebackers to flow, we might see something different.
So from the 35-yard line, left hash, they will immediately hand it off to Ken Shields Dutton, who gets up the middle, and he is tackled at the 40-yard line, right at midfield. That's a gain of 5 on the play, second down.
Yeah, and once you do that, you have to wrap up, and you have to tackle, bring a guy down. Caden Shields Dutton, it's just no slouch back there. Let us keep turning. They got to hurry up offense. Let's see what happens.
So Edgewater goes hard count there, and now they'll look to the sideline for the call. Three receivers over to the right side as Clayton takes the snap. Shields Dutton blasts up the middle. Now goes towards the flat on the left side. First down up to the 50.
Gain of 10 on the play. Another
And
first
they will
down for
move
your
the
Eagles.
chains. Now is Edgewater knocking on the door of Ocoee territory.
That might be the most important tackle Devin Andrews has made all day, because if he doesn't make that tackle as outside linebacker that was really scraping over across, then that's another Caden Shields Dutton touchdown, and he's had an incredible game. I don't know if it's the C4 effect, a couple of vets back in this locker room, but, man, they're playing their tail off.
2-by-2 formation as Clayton takes the snap, dumps it off to the right side on the screen. Samaj Fleming with room to go, gets the first down past the 40, down the 30, 20, and he might go all the way. His second of the game. Touchdown Edgewater. A 50-yard touchdown reception for Samaj Fleming. We got a running clock.
I think we're watching the 49ers offense. That's
probably.
just what it looks like, because it's a short route. You get a good job by the D lineman of Ocoee to just get upfield. Unfortunately, it was a screen, and that was by design. You get those big old linemen up front as a lead blocker. Samaj Fleming outruns all of them, and he also outruns the defense. So does such a good job of just maneuvering right there. He didn't have to put his foot in the ground. More importantly, he put his foot down on the accelerator and bend that corner and got himself 6. He's having an astounding season and capped off with a phenomenal senior night.
So
kick is good.
the kick is good by John 2 for the point after. 39-0. We got a running clock now as it will tick down from 9:40. So Samaj Fleming now has 3 rushes for 90 yards and a touchdown, 2 receptions for 88 yards and a touchdown.
Yeah, big play, Samaj. But most importantly, during halftime, Coach Cam Duke, his message to the defense, pitch a shutout. So now the defense, their ears are pinned. They know what the deal is. They know what they have to do. Let's see if they can go out and execute.
So Astron Ely and Joshua Guerrier are back to receive this kickoff. John 2 will kick this one away left to right from the 40. It's a 39-0 game, running clock now for the second half as the Eagles are in complete control of this game. Still quite a few fans here. The sidelines have been popping all game long. Pads have been popping on the field. Alvin's been popping starbursts in the press box.
With the kick.
My kryptonite.
And the kick goes up, and this one will
Another
be in the end
touchback
zone
for
for a
2.
touchback by Greer. And so let's see
Last
who
name
comes
may
out
be
as
two,
the
but he's
quarterback
number 1 to us.
for the Ocoee Knights. They rotated the last 2 quarters between Astron Ely and Joshua Greer per possession. Obviously, that didn't work if you're down by 39.
Yeah, there's not too much manipulation at the quarterback position that's going to get you what you want or yield you results. The biggest thing what you're going to have to do right now is just not switch up entirely the scheme, because you've been practicing something all year and it's gotten you some success last year. But you got to figure out a way to get these guys blocked and then get the ball out of the quarterback's hands, whichever one you decide to go with.
From the 20, Greer takes the snap, and he will go over towards the left side, gets past the 20 before he is tackled, maybe at the 21. Gain of about 1 yard on the play, second down and 9.
And that's just a good job of stringing that one out. There's nowhere to go. Interior forces them to just bounce that thing out, and Josh Alexander is able to just retrace his steps and get a tackle. When you have 2 interior D linemen getting plays on an outside zone, that just lets you know exactly what you're dealing with.
Edgewater in their home red uniforms with the gray letters and white trim, and Ocoee in their white uniforms with the black letters and gray trim. So Greer throws it over towards the right side. Greaves now has the reception, gets past the 23-yard line, now pushed over towards the sideline, but they keep him in bounds. Made it back to the line of scrimmage, picked up about maybe 2 yards, up to the 24-yard line, 3rd and 6.
We all know Edgewater to be stout in the interior. That 7 box has always been solid. And now when you're getting big plays from your DBs, there's just nowhere to go. We've seen a lot of exemplary performances on the edge right there. You get a big stop by your corner out there in Caden, and you just got to love what you're seeing from this defense. Obviously, the scoreboard dictates that, but more importantly, play by play, their attention to detail has really proven successful.
From the right hash, 24-yard line, Greer takes the snap, taking a long shot down the sideline, incomplete. His intended receiver streaking down the far side was Zion Hall. It'll bring up 4th down and 6 to go with under 6 minutes left to play here in the 3rd quarter. Wow, moving clock moves.
So Kylan Meadows, not only did he have that big play on that 1st down or on that 3rd down, with that coverage on the 2nd down, he was the one to make that tackle. So you get that tackle, then you go and you're in perfect phase, perfect position to make a play and force that overthrow. Kylan Meadows is having himself a game, especially in a game where you haven't had too much work. It's usually difficult as a DB to stay in the game. He's done a good job of doing that on his senior night.
McClendon will be back to punt this one away from the 20, and it's a low kick, and it will roll out of bounds.
Oh, no.
Still in Ocoee territory around the 40-yard line. It's a 39-0 game with the clock running down from 5:15 as the clock actually stopped.
And that's the only negative part of that rugby-style punt. Sometimes it gets a little too cute, especially when the defense knows it's coming. You're really trying to draw it out, and you're on the verge of getting blocked. And when you're on the verge of getting blocked, you got to rush your steps. It's just a difficult kick to execute right there. It was executed to perfection. You didn't do the job you needed to put the field, and now you get this high-power Edgewater offense, pristine field position.
So the Edgewater Eagles out onto the field. The quarterback is Sebastian Talma, and he will hand it off to the tailback as he falls forward back to the line of scrimmage. Maybe lost 1 yard on the carry. 2nd down from the 41-yard line.
And you just love that.
Christian Henderson was the tailback.
Loss of
the
a yard
stars
on
are
the
getting
play.
a chance to sit down and really bask in their victory. And then you get the young guys out there having an opportunity to make a play in front of a packed stand, packed crowd. But Mike McClendon is there able to make that play defensively.
So Sebastian Tama will hand this one off to Christian Henderson, who makes a move towards the flat on the outside, back to the 40-yard line.
Tama's
Maybe got an
handoff
extra
to
yard
Christian
after
Henderson.
that. It'll be third
Gain of
down
2 on the play.
and 9 to
Bring
go.
up, 3rd and 9 for the Eagles.
This has obviously been the best we've seen from this Ocoee defense in this game, obviously. They've had a solid season, a game under 500, obviously now probably 2. But outside of those 5 losses, they've done a good job of just, keeping guys in front and wrapping up and making the tackle. It's just been very tough to tackle. Caden Shields done.
The snap to Tama. He's going to roll to the right. He's at the 49-yard line. We'll launch this one towards the corner. And the pass on the sideline will be incomplete.
I am your father, Anderson.
So Luke Anderton made the catch, but fell out of bounds.
Love the effort. Just wasn't able to get his foot down and get that play. He's a junior, 2 years on varsity, and now getting this opportunity. Phenomenal route. He was able to work himself open. The inability to just get that ball right in between the hash and the numbers, and then the inability to just contort your body like your Chad Johnson, which is a Hall of Fame receiver, by the way, to let you know how hard that catch is or how that play is.
Harrison back to
very good job just securing the football. The more opportunities he gets, I believe he's going to make something special happen. That was a phenomenal route.
39-0, 3 minutes left to go in the third quarter. Caden Harrison back to punt this one away at his own 49-yard line in Edgewater territory. Back to receive will be Gurrier and Tavion Greaves on the far side. Gurrier makes it past the 10-yard line on the near side, tries to turn upfield, gets pushed out of bounds at the 16-yard line. Ocoee in their own territory. And
35-yard punt.
Let's see if Gurrier or Astron Ely will come out as the quarterback on this next possession. Been a back and forth action. They've been splitting the possessions. 2.5 minutes left to play here in the third. 39-0 game. Edgewater absolutely destroying in this one.
Yeah, this is a reaming. This is you just can't find the proper verb to articulate how this game has gone. It's been domination from start to finish for this Edgewater team. And really, whenever you have a situation where you don't know your quarterback situation, for Ocoee it doesn't work, for Alabama it doesn't work, and if you're in the NFL it doesn't work either. So very difficult situation for Ocoee, and they're just trying to figure out how to pick up the pieces here.
So here comes the snap to Astron Ely, and they will hand this one off to Nathaniel Worrell, who goes towards the far side past the 15. Now the 20-yard line, breaks a tackle, and barrels his way forward for a first down up to the 29-yard line. Good run there on first down from the 16. And that'll be a 13-yard pickup.
You almost forget how good Nathaniel Worrell is just because of how lopsided this score is. And, when there's a goose egg on the score, you just automatically say that team's bad offensively. But it's just the scheme. It's just the situation. It's the opportunities that's been presented. But Worrell's been taking advantage of every single one that he's got. And his ability to take that inside zone, bounce it out, and then get positive yards, making a few guys miss and dropping the shoulder at the end, get that first. That's positive. That's very good by a good player.
Ely will take the snap. Edgewater will rush 5, and Mylan Bowen knocks him on his butt as Worrell tried to take the handoff at the 30 or the 26-yard line. That was a loss on the play. Third down and long to go.
Not just a loss. That was an absolute hit stick. He didn't go low. He didn't try to profile tackle him. He just dropped his shoulder, put his face mask down, and detonated on a guy. And Mylan Bowen has had himself a phenomenal game. The senior has really made his impact. D-line, linebacker, obviously tight end as well. He's going to go on and do some big things at the next level.
The snap to Ely. Ely going towards his left side, goes backwards past the 20, behind the 20-yard line, and flying in from space was Ty McFarland.
With
the senior defensive back for a huge sack. And he got it all the way back to the 18-yard line.
Loss of 9.
As a
third and long.
your mantra is if you see it, you got to believe it. Right there, his ability to read his keys, understand the situation. It's a scramble drill, and then he just gets downhill, inside shoulder, and then makes the play. Phenomenal play. Obviously, getting his feet wet a little bit as a senior. You just love that all the seniors, all the vets are able to get out here and make plays. Fourth quarter. Talk about running clock. This is crazy speed.
That was a quick one. So third quarter ends. It's 39-0. We're going to take a break here on CBS Sports Digital Network. So we flip the field one last time, 39-0. Here the score in this ball game. Astron Ely will be the quarterback on this drive, and he will take the snap and be at the 10-yard line. He's going to loft this one downfield. This one will be incomplete. He wanted, actually, Joshua Guerrier streaking down the sideline and threw him over by about 10 feet.
Yeah, it looked like Kylan Meadows was able to stay on top of that route. He had it look pretty much from the jump. Just a good job defensively. We've seen this possession by possession. This defense has really figured this team out. And honestly, this defense has been in final form since week one. So really a good job by their defense, and offense obviously showed up. Anytime you score more than 21 points, you got to give credit where credit's due. Full team thrashing by the Eagles.
Well, here in the fourth quarter now with 11 minutes left, it's 39-0. McClinton will kick this one away inside his own 10-yard line. Back to receive this one. Brandon Paul and A.J. Howard will let this one bounce up to the 43-yard line is where the Edgewater Eagles will take it. On the last drive, Edgewater did not have any of their main defensive players in, which means the only one that was actually in that Coach Camp Duke, says he's crazy because he is. Mylan Bowen just wants to keep playing. So Mylan Bowen was the main guy out there. Josh Alexander Felton was not in the game. They took out Jatorian Mack. They took out Damon Troutman. They took out Josh Alexander Felton. They took out Solomon Tripline.
Yeah, they took out their box, and then they're able to still make plays.
They pinned him inside their own 15.
That just goes to show that it's not just going to be this year. He's doing a good job of just developing guys, and next year is going to be the exact same thing. Obviously, it's going to look a little different, but they'll adjust. And that's no shade to Ocoee. Obviously, they're working their tail off. It's just, man, right now you're getting beat, and it's tough to play when you're down this much.
Luke Anderton gives it on the reverse to Brandon Paul past the 40-yard line. Now down the sideline, 50, and now makes the cut back inside to the 40, 30. Is he going to separate from the defense? He will. He'll take it. 57 yards in for a touchdown.
57 yards, Brandon Paul with the score.
Brandon Paul called his name, and he makes it a, what is that, a 45-0 game? Wow.
Yeah, and on his belt, we see the ankles of all the DBs that he just snatched. The ability to get around that corner, put his foot in the ground, make a myriad of guys miss, and then the burst after that to finish that run is incredible. Good job by another good player. We've seen him on special teams early on this year, and now he's making plays.
9 minutes and 9 seconds left.
Tune's kick is up.
And the kick by John 2 is good. And now, with 8:54 left,
we're thinking the kick was good. Eagle fans, it's
How about
lost
that
and found
play
night here in the
by
press box. We
Mr.
got another
Paul,
lost and
Brandon
found
Paul,
item.
the
We got a purse up here.
junior receiver,
If you
5'10",
have
170,
misplaced your
and
purse,
every bit of
Please come up to the
electric.
press box and describe what it
The
looks like. We'll
speed
get you
we've
back your
seen
purse.
from just honestly, both sides,
think
the
it's time to
athletes
recognize our
of this next
19-2
generation
Youth
has really
Club
been
sponsor,
incredible.
Simon
I'm
and
so
Kelvington,
impressed with the
CPAs
work,
and
obviously,
advisors.
you have to put in the
Ion
offseason
247
to
managed
be able to
services and
display
IT.
this in this game at this
Athenberry
point of the
is,
season.
cultivating your
Obviously,
garden space.
for Edgewater,
They're
it's
their
clicked
wealth
a lot more
advisors.
cleanly, a lot more
Premier
fluidity
Contracting
in their
Company.
offense. But
Wilson
obviously, they've had more
Management Group.
continuity with their
Cypress
stars
Risk
time and
Partners,
time again, game in
LLC,
and game
and
out. They
Properties
understand who their
Management.
foxhole guys
We
are.
thank
And
you for
for
your support of
Ocoee,
Edgewater Athletics.
obviously, we mentioned the disarray they've been in with their quarterback having to figure out different situations there. And I think that's really played a negative spot in these games where you have to face a dominant juggernaut like the Edgewater Eagles. But Edgewater, to be in a game where you're supposed to win and then win in this fashion with all the distractions of senior night, all the alum that are present, that's a testament to a good team.
Back to receive, Acetron Ely and Joshua Guerrier. Guerrier on the near side, and this one will go to Guerrier, who could have taken it from the 1-yard line, but he actually stepped into the end zone for a touchback with 7:19 to go. It's a 46-0 game. Edgewater pitching a shutout.
At this point, if I'm the Ocoee Knights, I'd still have my guys in. Well, that's debatable, obviously. You know, you're in that locker room, you know what you're going to do as a coach, you know what you're going to do with your guys. But if you have number 1 and number 3 and you're electrifying juniors, what you're going to do is you're going to give them the football early and often. Just allow them to have fun and make plays. And it looks like we do have – nope, we're not. He juked us as well. Joshua Guerrier is stepping out. So, whole new staff for the Knights.
So Acetron Ely will be the quarterback, and Raymond Green the tailback at the left hip of Ely. And now they'll motion over Zion Hall to the left side of the line, and we have a timeout taken on the field by the Ocoee Knights with 6:19 to go. We're halfway through the fourth quarter. Almost seems like there's no chance, but you never know. Crazier things have happened, but it is 46-0. I'm playing this up as much as I can, Alvin, as we take a break here on the field in an absolute blowout.
All the time.
6:19 left to go here in the fourth quarter. It's a 46-0 game. Acetron Ely is the quarterback who will take the snap from the 20-yard line, and they will run it with him on the far side, now past the 20 to the 25 before he goes out of bounds at the spot. 2nd and 5.
Jaden Alexander Felton actually did a phenomenal job there, because when you're running lateral, you have to close that distance. You have to pursue that inside leg, inside hip, and as you see Acetron Ely break down, you see Jaden Alexander Felton mirror that and escort him out of bounds for no gain. So that's a phenomenal job by the senior.
So it'll be a second and about 4.5 or 5.5, excuse me, to go. They'll go into pro set formation, and now they'll give this one off towards the right side, making a quick move towards the outside to the 27-yard line. Kaimani Edmond, who we haven't seen much of this game, gets the reverse run from the near side.
Marjok.
There's just nowhere to go.
Ivan Santos on the tackle.
Doesn't matter who's in.
2.5
domination.
on the play. It's going to bring him a 3rd and 4.
I'm not too sure Ocoee's going to get this either. This is exactly where we would want to be. 3rd and short. Positive yards on that 2nd down. You should have some juices flowing. But at this point in the game, it's 46-0. You only got 4 minutes and 46 seconds left.
Edgewater doesn't even have their main defense in.
But morale is just it's in the pits, man. There's just, for seniors, you're looking through. You got cloudy vision because you're misty at this point. The emotion is boiled over. I'm not sure if they can muster up a 3rd down conversion.
Ely from the 27-yard line will give it off to their big man, Michael McClinton, who tries to power his way up the middle.
One more time,
And he
Amari
did not
Bowers
get
there to make
anywhere.
the stop. Loss of a yard on the play. It's
It
going to
sounds
bring
like
up
I played this game.
4th and 5 now for the
Big
Ocoee
stop
Knights from their
by
own
this
26-yard
Edgewater
line.
defense. And if you just look at the body language, you know, obviously
Eagle
you
fans,
can't, but
let's
I'll
give it up
describe
for the
for you.
band and the cheerleaders
Hands on
tonight on
hips.
senior night.
Sunken shoulders, heads down. Ocoee Knights have really realized the defeat that they've been had. There's no worse feeling than being had in a way that they have been. Unable to stop guys defensively, unable to score offensively. Special teams has not been special. So 3-tier tail whipping, and they're just now realizing it.
McClinton inside the 20 will run it himself towards the 25, and they tackle him right there. And that's a 4th down loss and a turnover on downs. Edgewater now gets it 5 yards away from the end zone, or the red zone, excuse me, in Ocoee territory.
And with 3 minutes left, you got your backups in. I wouldn't be shocked if they dropped 50 balls on them. Just because when your backups are in, you're going to keep that play call aggressive and allow them to show something on tape and allow them to just have some fun. They've been working their tail off this entire season, whether it's been scouting, whether it's been getting those backup reps and forced to be taking mental reps. This is the time you give them their opportunity. So I do believe they might go ahead and get themselves a nice little tutty here.
2 minutes and 43 seconds left to go in the 4th quarter. It's 46-0. The snap and the handoff to Christian Henderson, who goes up the middle, met at the line of scrimmage. They're going to mark him down for a loss of 1 from the 25. Now he'll be in the 26, 2nd and 11.
Very
maybe even a loss of a yard. Bring up 2nd 11 for your
giving them a power there. And, you know, if you break one, you break one, but you're not necessarily rubbing salt in the wound. 46 times is enough. So good job there. The defense, they were able to make that play there. Let's see if they can do this 2 more times.
Gun left, 1-by-2 formation.
Flag on the play.
And I think there was a flag on the play, but it was actually a timeout waved off by the Edgewater Eagles. 1:54 to go. Flag comes back in the official's pocket. There's actually one less person lined up on the line than they needed. So, minute 52 to go. It's a 46-0 game. Minute 52 to go in a 46-0 game. So Sebastian Talma, the quarterback now for the Edgewater Eagles, in a 1-by-2 formation with the receivers going left to right. The snap and then the handoff over to the middle. That's Damon Troutenman plowing his way forward. Good enough for a first down up to the 13-yard line. They started that one on the 26. Gain of 12 or 13 on the carry.
I love that.
And now 1 minute and 28 seconds left. Edgewater in the red zone, knocking on the door yet again. Damon Troutman again is the tailback.
He said, listen, I saw what you did for my boy Mylan Boa. Let me tote that thing a little bit. And he got some positive yards, moved the chains.
So now the tailback is Xavier Laster, another defensive back.
If you want to win, let Boogie spin.
One receiver left, one over to the right. Sebastian Tama will take a knee at the 17-yard line, and they can just need this one out.
And that's something that, you know, we haven't seen at the college level. Miami not able to do that right there.
Well, Miami was also, you know, within a touchdown reach when they didn't kneel it down. They decided to run.
But
I think even if they ran a play here, 46-0, you're not going to get your 50 spot.
No, but
sorry.
What I'm saying, that's good though. This is good because they have the opportunity to do so. But we've seen this with the Dolphins as well. You have opportunity to break the all-time scoring in one game, and you choose the classy route. And I think that's a great call by Coach Duke. And I think that breeds great karma just because the morale of your team is high. Everyone did it, understand that they did it the right way. Great win for a great team.
Ocoee, nothing.
Clock ticking down from 8 seconds.
On behalf of
And
all
this
of our
game will
administrators,
finish
coaches, staff, players, and
46
fans
to
here at
0
Edgewater High School, we'd like to thank all
for
of
a
you
fantastic
for attending
senior night
tonight's
finish
game.
for the Edgewater
Now we'd like to
Eagles.
take the time to wish our
Holy
guests from
mackerel.
Ocoee High School a very
So
safe and
Edgewater and
uneventful
Ocoee, a few of
trip
similar
home.
opponents this year. Edgewater's
My
blown
name is
out all
Lance
those
Wells. On
opponents.
behalf of this little
And
broadcast
Ocoee
team up here,
has gone 1 and
He
2
is
against those
Brenton
opponents. I
Carter.
guess that should have served as a notice
Good
for us
night,
because
everybody.
now Ocoee drops to 3 and 5 on the season. And I guess I could say it now, but Edgewater's 8-0.
Yeah, and you know, you don't want to say that until states, but we'll let you slide here.
Yeah.
I think the biggest thing is just the defense. Obviously, we know what the offense has been able to do. They've been firing all year, but defense, to pitch a shutout, man, it's just that's a dream every defensive coordinator has, and sometimes it's a pipe dream. And for them to accomplish that, that's a very, very solid testament of how solid this team is, and that you can actually turn dreams into reality with just discipline and a little bit of hard work, and they showed that for 4 quarters.
I don't know if I'm having any of your pipe dreams, Alvin, but I didn't play football, so, you know, it's a little different for me. I was a baseball guy, but 46 to 0 is our final score here. So for Ocoee, Alvin, they move, like I said, to 3 and 5 on the season. And up next for them, they have their 3rd away game in 3 weeks. All 3 have been on the road against Windermere, who they absolutely smacked last year, 63 to 0.
Wow.
So do you think they try to do something different in that game?
Yes. The biggest thing is just get guys like Joshua Guerrier and Tavion Greaves. You get them the ball early and often, and we saw what Nathaniel Worrell was able to do when he had his opportunity. But the biggest thing is going to have to be that offensive line. They're just going to have to figure out a way to, whether it's shifting up the gap scheme or moving guys around, there's just something has to be done there to just get more flat back, to move men off the point and give guys an opportunity. Defensively, the exact same thing. You got skilled players. It's just that interior you got to fix.
So a valiant effort by the Ocoee Knights in this one, but they get down by 46 points. And on the other side, the Edgewater Eagles now move to 8-0, Alvin, and ranked number 8 in all of Florida and number 2 in their whole class, one behind St. Thomas Aquinas, who just seems to keep winning every single year. But it looks like they might get another crack at them here in this season. So what do you know about Edgewater moving forward?
Well, they just have to continue doing what they're doing. They played relatively clean. Obviously, as this season rages on, you start going against those St. Thomas Aquinas and the Miami Centrals and, you know, those bigger schools, the Venices,
the juggernauts
last year. You just have to play clean football, and you cannot beat yourself. And most importantly, celebrate this win. It's senior night. It's this night for a reason. But then once this night's over, it's back to business. You have to be ready to beat teams that are on paper better than you are. So that takes a little bit of discipline, a little bit of hard work, but most importantly, just make sure you're locked in mentally and your preparation is solid. And we know they've been able to do that time and time again. So I'm excited to see what they're going to do as this season continues to rage on and as we go into the money portion of the season.
So Edgewater's got 2 more games left in the regular season now. They got a game next week against Horizon on the road. And that one, you know, logically should be a win for the Edgewater Eagles before they go and play the Battle of the Barrel at Boone. That's always the last game of the season. Last year, Edgewater beat Horizon 54-0. Do you think we see something similar to that game here this year?
Yes.
Yeah,
yes.
Really?
I just because if you're playing, we got to remember that this Ocoee Knight team was in the Final Four last year.
Yeah.
Things are different. Things change, rearrange, and obviously so does the Eagles. But I think the ability to thump a team that's coming in with the thought process of ruining your senior night and to do it 46-0, that's crazy. That is crazy work. So this Edgewater team is scary, and I believe they know how to put teams down, and I think they're going to have an opportunity to do that versus Horizon. And then Battle of the Barrel, that's going to be a tough one, especially going into your playoffs, and really that's the road to the destination that you really want to get to. They're not playing for the regular season accolades. They're playing to hoist something up on this turf that, hasn't been hoisted up in a very, very long time.
Yeah, and you can see a lot of respect between head coach Cam Duke and Buck Gurley of the Ocoee Knights. So then Edgewater comes back to practice for a week after the Horizon game, and then they go on to Boone in November. That's the first weekend in November, Friday, November 3rd. So they have a bye week, actually, the week of Halloween. So they'll get some time to rest, relax, recover. And then you go and play Boone in the Battle of the Barrel. That's another rivalry game. Last year, we were able to call that one here at Frank Lough Stadium, and Edgewater was able to walk away with that game 21-14. Do you think there's a bigger difference in the margin in that game?
It's very tough to tell, and it's really just because rivalry games they're that for a reason. You could be a better team on paper, but if you lose hold of your emotion, if you get punched in the mouth one time, and then now you start having false starts, start having face mask penalties, unsportsmanlike, and they start to add up, the game could be flipped on its head. So very tough to tell, but I do think Edgewater has the edge, obviously. It's just whether they can perform on all cylinders like they were able to perform today. And Boone, they're no joke. They're no slouch. They're going to come out here ready to hit them in the mouth. They have a good football program over there, and they feel the exact same way. They feel they have the advantage on paper, and they're scheming that thing up. Not like they're going to look over their opponents as they go on into it, but they're ready to do something special. They think that game last year was a fluke.
Fans still celebrating senior night. The crowd still celebrating senior night. The cheerleaders still celebrating senior night. And then most of all, Cam Duke and his guys down on the field celebrating senior night. So that game against Boone, who is a 3-3 team coming into tonight's game, not having their best season whatsoever. But, it looks like this Edgewater team is geared up to try to make a run at something that they have not been able to do in a very long time, like you were saying.
Yeah, and it just every game you have to get better. Every practice you have to get better, and that's what we've seen so far. So they're excited. Obviously, the coaching staff has done a good job of getting them to this point, and this isn't the end. Everyone has a chance to talk about what they thought this season has gone so far and what it means to them, and that's a good coach to have. And when you have good culture, you get good results. I think that they're going to go and do something special, but they have to take care of next week. Be healthy in the bye week going into their rivalry game, and from there, make sure you're smart enough to understand what's at hand and what that moment is, and take care of the moment.
And the biggest thing that you said there, go into the bye week healthy. Injuries are the deficit of any good football team ever. You can have the most talented roster on paper, but if you can't put them on the field, it doesn't mean a single thing. Edgewater moves to 8-0 on the season. Ocoee drops to 3-5. This will be our last regular season game here on CBS Sports Digital Network Radio for a couple of weeks. We'll be back with you on NFHS Network in a couple of weeks for the first round of the playoffs here in Orlando, Florida. But until then, Alvin, it's been a great regular season working with you. This is our third year together.
Yeah.
And we're having more fun every year. You can tune into our podcast called The Sports Scene. It's out on all platforms. So please tune in to that one. And also you can find us on ESPN as of late. We're doing volleyball. We're doing basketball here for University of North Florida and a few other schools around the area. So you can find us on a lot of stuff. But thanks so much for everyone who made this YouTube stream possible, as well as the radio stream. Everyone made it available on YouTube. So for those of you tuning in on that platform, thank you so much for sticking with us all night. We realized it was a blowout. It was 46-0, but we do hope you had a fun time hanging out with us and for letting us come into your homes and have our Friday night football nights with you. So we appreciate you all. And for our fantastic producer, director, Josh Vandergrift, for Jerry Pettit, who is off nursing an ailment right now, and we hope he gets better. We'll see him in a few weeks. And for my strong safety, as always, sitting next to me, my favorite color analyst ever, Alvin Delvey. I'm Jesse O saying good night from Orlando, Florida. Again, the smackdown continued. 46-0 is our final score. We'll see you again in a few weeks.